Check out the Thinking Out Loud Network at thinkingoutloudnetwork.com.
We just thank God for being here live. And we have some very, when I say interesting, but blessed young men here today. And yes, you're young. You're young. Okay, the first one is Nick Cunty. He's an actor. Now, we know our daughter, because I always call her my daughter. But Nick, like I said, these two are experienced actors. And I know many of you all want to come up the ladder and become like Nick and Scott. But we know that after this station goes off today, you're going to call their offices and you're going to say, Nick, Scott, what can I do to become an up-and-coming actors? Okay? We're going to find that out today. Before we go on, I want both Nick and Scott. No, Scott and Nick. Okay.
Be surprised when we answer to.
Who want to go first to tell a little bit?
Go ahead,
and you know my daughter.
John Sims, the one and only.
Okay.
Scott, I'm going to let you take it.
All right.
It's all
Okay.
yours.
Go ahead, Scott. Tell me a little bit about you.
My name is Scott Oakley. I've been in the industry for, 30 plus years, just about.
Okay.
Started off as an actor.
Oh, okay.
And, sure, yeah. Okay. Pull the mic, boy. Pull the mic. There you go.
All right. Okay.
I can hear you. I follow direction very well, too. I take direction well. Started off as an actor.
Okay.
And started off at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in Pasadena, California.
Yes. Oh,
I
Hollywood.
love
Okay.
that place. Yeah, that was a
Okay.
great place. Stayed up there for a while.
Okay.
Came back to Atlanta. I studied with a couple different agencies here.
Okay.
And then took a small hiatus, raised a family. I got into bounty hunting.
All right.
And I did that for a handful of years, had my own business
Okay.
and ran my own business. We did high risk national work.
Oh, my God.
And then after that, remarried and started another life with another wife
Okay.
and another family, and got back into the industry and haven't looked back since. Met Nick and furthered another career and just haven't looked back. It's been wonderful and been with Nick ever since.
All right now. Okay, Nick, what about you?
Wow, Scott, that was really good.
It was very good. Oh,
That was that's the condensed version. That was, wow, yeah.
My goodness.
Well, I'm Nick Conti, and I started in the business about 44 years ago.
It doesn't
He
look
looks good.
Thank you.
Crazy.
Interestingly enough, my very first school was also the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, but not in Pasadena, in New York City.
Oh, okay.
But a lot of my training for the years when I was in New York was with people. I was very lucky because there were a number of what are considered the legends that were still alive and teaching back then. So I got to study with Uta Hagen and Herbert Berghoff of the HB Studios in New York. She was legendary. She taught a lot of the teachings of Stanislavski. And then I got to study with Mr. Lee Strasberg, who is known of the Actors Studio of New York, who taught a lot of the legends like, oh my God, he taught Marlon Brando, and he taught Al Pacino and De Niro, and a lot of the great legendary actors was Lee Strasberg. And his studio, as well as the American Academy, like Scott, as well as the HB Studios of New York, still to this day teach aspiring actors and even actors that are working actors.
All right.
And then I met Scott, and we have become just great friends. It's been almost a full
like brothers.
decade.
Yeah, you all are like brothers. I feel that camaraderie between you all, so thank God for that.
I
Now,
agree.
you do feel that way as well?
Yes, I do.
All right, okay. Now, I'm looking at, with your dossier, it says actor, instructor, tactical comeback, and you just told me why. You have to have that to be
Right.
bounty hunter. Okay.
Correct.
And then Nick. Now, I asked Nick, and then I'm coming back to you.
Sure.
He's done voiceovers, and well, I didn't know it was voiceovers, but he's worked with Bad Boys, Will and Martin, I think it is. Okay. And then you did Love American Style. You all would know that if you're under maybe 18 years old, I don't think. I think it comes on now. But anyway, I used to go and run from school after I got out of school and come and sit in front of the TV to see the Love American Style.
Oh my God, that's funny.
That's exactly. And Cagney and Lacey, she comes on now. So I
Oh,
stay
yeah.
there
I was
on
crazy
Channel
about that.
69. Oh, yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
stay there. But now, what would you have to do to become or get these roles in these nice pictures?
I think what a lot of beginner actors don't always understand is that it's a journey.
Okay.
It takes time. It is not something that you're going to go, if anybody tries to sell you on, come here, do 90 days of this, and all of a sudden you're going to become a professional working actor. The odds are highly unlikely.
Okay.
It just takes time. Eventually, if you work hard enough, long enough, you get an agent. Then you start to go out on auditions.
Okay.
You might still have those times where you're just going to feel like, wow, when am I going to get a role? And you go out onto the audition, and then after a while you start to get some callbacks.
Okay.
And you start to learn as you go. Most actors continue to train for extended periods of time. Even stars many times will bring their coach onto the set if they feel they have a challenging role.
Okay.
And also many actors in the larger roles may prep for an extended period of time to prepare for a role. Now, smaller roles or even like the guest star stuff on like the comedies, like the New Love American style.
Yes.
We had a week and then you go on set a couple of days, you do blocking, and it's not that type of difficulty.
Okay.
But when you have a role like maybe Charlize Theron in Monsters, for example.
Oh, yes.
She prepared for months for that, right? Or
She had to get, that was not the one when she came fat and all that.
she changed everything.
Yeah, that's the one.
Everything.
Okay. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
What about you, Nick? I know, because you look like an actor,
Scott.
too.
Oh, thank
Scott.
you. That's what we look like. We look like this. God help us.
We look alike, so this happens all the time.
That's what you and the Tim Raines all the time. Okay.
Familiarity.
Okay, there you go. So now, what are some of the pictures you've been in?
Oh, gosh. I was a peacekeeper in Hunger Games.
Oh.
Whoa,
Which was
Jennifer,
really-
what
yeah.
is it? Jennifer Hustle? No,
No, not
Jennifer. And I know Lauren, if I'm not mistaken. Jennifer.
Lawrence.
Hey, thank you. And I know my
She-
little actors
she
and
knows that,
actors.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
That was a lot of fun. That was a stunt position.
Oh.
That
Now
was,
tell me which one it was, because I saw I saw
you
it.
won't recognize me. I have a full body suit on. And what was really neat about that is the individual that designed those suits also designed the Stormtrooper suits for Star Wars.
Oh,
Wow.
nice.
So it was a
that
three-piece
was
suit that got
good.
put on, and it was all clipped together. And once you got in, you couldn't get out to go to the bathroom by yourself.
Oh,
It was
my
a
Lord.
two-person thing to get into it, and it was a lot of fun. It was using firearms. We ran through the woods, and we were shooting the people that were trying to get
So
away from
more or
us.
less, I know exactly that part.
I know the part that I played, and I know when I
Right.
got shot down.
Uh-oh.
I go, there I go.
Oh, okay. Okay.
My world is mostly in independence. I work a lot in the independent pictures,
Okay.
and I really enjoy that world.
Okay.
So yeah, I work a lot in that world, and I do a lot of commercials, and I do some voiceover work as well.
Oh, really?
Nice.
I told him he should be on radio.
Right.
That
was
voice is
nice.
awesome. Okay.
Thank you.
So now, since you know them personally, she's also up and coming. Well, she's an actress. I say it like that. You've been in parts. So now you have more idea of what's going on. So I'm going to leave you.
Oh, yeah, my eyes are open now, because when I first started out, at first I was getting discouraged because, I didn't know where to start. All I knew was I wanted to try it. But where do you go? And so at first people were coming at me $500 for a day or two. And I'm like, training. I'm like, oh no, this I can't work like this. This is not for me. Wow. And then something happened where I found I found Nick's ad. And I said, look at this. And it's saying that you can audit the class for free. It's a 3-hour class, and you can audit a beginner's class. And so I audited the class with Sabrina and a choir. And we went to Scott's class. And Scott blew my mind. I was like, oh, yes, this is for me. And it was only $30
Oh, my God.
for
a session. So, it's just $120 a month. And I'm like, are you kidding me? $10 an hour?
You can't
I
beat
said,
that.
oh,
Oh, my
I'm sold. And we connected. I was like, I am going to do this. I told you, I said, I'll be back. Because
I did too. I took it personally. She said, I'll be back.
I think I'll be back. Okay.
Because I told him, I said, I've been in the IT industry. I've been a network engineer, project manager, system analyst for over 30 years. And I was burnt out. And I wanted to do something different. And so I was like, how do I break into this? And he was the key. I was like, Scott.
Touches my heart. Thank you.
And I watched, and it was so neat. They were doing a commercial that day where they were reading, from where they had to memorize the lines, and they had about 20 minutes or 30 minutes to get together. And I saw the first take, and then I saw when she coached them and told them, okay, think of it as this is your mother or this is it. And then when I saw the second take, and it was like, I was blown away. I was like, this is magical. I was like, oh yeah. He just was real patient. And like I said, I worked with several of the acting coaches, and they all are just so patient, they passionate, and they really want to be there for you to help you. You know,
That's what it is.
And
Y'all
I was
just
like,
anointed
oh
in
yeah.
what you do. God
You
has
know,
anointed you. That's what it is. Because everybody can't be that.
I have been so lucky, and I've got to say this for Scott. You know, we have a teaching staff of about 7 of us that are at the studio, and I've been so lucky to have a teaching staff that
A family.
that has a type of commitment, the background, the years, the integrity that continues to keep our studio strong. We're going into 23 years here, and still the number one studio in this city.
What that would mean.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and we still, and I still, every time I go, I feel like I'm going to my second home. I mean, it's so wonderful to go and do something where you don't ever feel like it's work. You feel like you go
It's
and you
fun.
do your passion, like I'm sure that
Right.
you do as well. Yes. You go and you go, this is my home, this is
Yes.
my heart, this
You're
is my
so right.
passion, and it just feels good.
They do. And we really, and I'm speaking for all of us. We appreciate you guys.
Yes,
Seriously. I mean, we see it because we're not easy. And I'm the type, it takes me a minute, but once I get it, watch out.
Oh my God.
Watch
And
out.
that's one of the reasons that I think really keeps us moving is we get to share
They
those
bring it out of
aha
us.
moments with you.
Right.
And that is one of the driving forces behind being an instructor or a coach is sharing those things with the students. It's magical.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's just magical.
But I guess what I'm wondering, why do you have the price so low? I know people like, no, leave it. No, because when you're worth something, you don't mind paying to receive it, if you understand my meaning.
Nick?
The quality of it.
I always believed that if we can offer affordable
Okay.
classes, and we can still make a decent pay,
Okay.
we're good. There's not that, it's not about, you know, yes, classes are more expensive in New York and in LA by nature, just everything is more expensive there. But you don't need to charge an exorbitant amount of money to still make a decent pay for your teaching and allow actors who struggle so hard to be able to go and learn. There's no need for it. It's just because I don't see any reason to gouge. Doesn't matter. So to
That's why
me,
he's blessed.
it's not about that.
That's it. Yeah,
Because I got to tell you this, nothing makes me feel better. Scott has said this, Matt, the other teachers at the studio, Jeff, is that when someone says, wow, I have gotten so much value
Yes.
from my money, I can't thank you enough.
Right.
Or when an actor says, I got an agent, some directly or indirectly because of something I did, or from the studio. You got your last agent from the studio.
Correct. At the showcase.
Just whatever it is that we do, if it helps, I feel this is great. And you know what? There's nothing else I want to do more. So you give me something back just by being there. Sean gives
beautiful
back
thing.
just by being there. So to me, that's all good.
All right. Oh my God, this is awesome. My godson, he's acting, doing something out in LA, but he's here on Tyler Perry's studio with the haves and the have-nots or whatever that
Right.
is.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, he took a lot of pictures, but I think he need to talk to you all. So I'm gonna see if he's still here in Atlanta, and maybe you all can talk with him because it can enhance him on even further.
You bet.
I'd love
Yeah,
to.
you need it. But I know what I'm going to do for you all. Also, I have these 2 magazines that should be already at the press. Maybe the labels because they needed to be in there.
Okay. That makes sense.
I'm going to put you all in the magazine. It goes worldwide.
Oh,
Wow.
And I'm going to put you on one of the covers, the back cover, or the front cover. I don't mind because I told one of my friends
That's
I don't like
amazing.
publication. When they said pictures, I'm bagging back. Even at the award shows, when some celebrity, like, let me tell you what happened at TD Jakes. It was June 12th, 2012, I think, at the birthday party for Bishop TD Jakes. So we doing all the red carpets and everything. I'm standing to the side, and I'm noticing everybody looking at me because I'm like, no, I'm not the host. But I went over there. One of the attorneys I took out there with me. We went over to the big, like a waterfall. And I'm sitting there, and you can't help but notice every celebrity walking around. Right. And I saw Mr. Vance and Angela Bassett, husband and wife.
Wow.
Okay.
And they coming. They done walked away from the red carpet and they coming down the little walkway. And I'm sitting there like, oh, where can I run? Where can I run? And I was, but you couldn't run nowhere. So I'm sitting there and I'm saying, what they gonna do? They done came from the red carpet. Did you not know they came right there? And I was probably right here sitting down. And they said, hello, how are you doing? And I looked at her, the attorney. I said, Lisa, she's talking to me. She said, no, I'm talking to you. And we got to talking. And then I said, well, you know what? What love got to do with it? You know, that's the... She just bust out and started laughing. And then SW, what is that show that I look at all the time? I think he's a detective on it. SW something, sex something.
SUV? I mean...
Oh, Sex Crime Unit.
Whatever he's the... And I mean, I said, and I asked him in that little voice he had, and they just had a ball. Because I said, I love you all. I said, but you don't... He said, you want a picture? I said, no, it's not me. Let her do it. And then she was just laughing. But no, I do not like publication, but you all be a blessing. Look at that.
That's so kind.
You all
Thank
see
you.
this?
How special.
And you see this?
Nice.
So I don't know what pictures you want on it, but let me know because Paige keeps calling me saying, when are you going to get the pictures? We got to get them to press. So we're going to talk right after. What about that?
All
And tell
right.
me whatever you want to put on there. You got the cover.
Wow.
Thank you.
right.
Thank you. Thank you. It's like Christmas in this mug. It's raining.
Not a problem. But no, you have something to give to the people to offer.
They do.
Thank you.
You understand?
Yes.
Not that, and see, like I tell people, I'm going to offer you Christ. And you know, he's there waiting for everybody, but you all have a gift that the world needs. Some people have purpose, and maybe you need to give your knowledge that God have already given to you, give it to the people. And I'm telling you, you're going to have your calls all the time because someone wants what you have and you. This is like the movie
special.
stars. Okay. But no, they want you all. So make sure we get together right after.
Thank you.
But you know what, Sean, now, like I said, you have some questions you need to ask them that you know have more knowledge on acting and actresses and stuff like that. Tell them.
And so one of the things where, you know, like if a lot of people are new, just starting out, what advice would you give them as to where to go? How do they start? You know, what is it they need to do? Because we know money shouldn't be the issue because of the fact that it's so low. So that's not a factor. So just what would you say to
Me?
someone trying to get started?
Start it?
You got it.
Okay. The first thing I would suggest is a place to study. You're not going to have a resume to start out with. That's going to be a given thing. So the first thing, one of the first things they say is, how do I get an agent? That's the first thing that a new student comes in, they ask us.
Right.
And I say that's the last thing you need to worry about.
Right.
But since you're asking the questions, one of the first things they're going to ask you is, since you don't have a resume, is where are you studying and how long have you been there?
Right.
Okay.
So to satisfy that inquiry right off the bat, you need to have a place to call home.
Okay.
A studio. Don't go and try to get the online learning.
Right.
Don't try to get the workshops and things like that. Find a place that you can call home and stay there for a year, year and a half.
Okay.
They want to see some longevity.
Okay. So they know
Find
you're
a
serious.
studio, a place that you feel
So
comfortable.
basically try to invest in yourself.
Yes. Yes. So
That's
a studio would be the first place.
Okay.
And find a place, and I mean, and there are, now that Atlanta has become such a large market, there are a few really good studios here. I mean, we're not the only one that's really good, and go and try and see where you feel best at. That's why we always welcome a free audit. Come and sit in. We never pressure anybody. We don't try and get anybody to join our studio. In fact, we don't even have any contracts at our studio. They simply pay by the month.
Right.
That's it. But I agree with Scott is that because it's a journey, because it takes time, you know, nobody picks up a musical instrument and becomes a pro in a year. No one picks up a football and thinks they're going to play professional football in a year, or anything else for that matter. But part of the things that we do at the studio, besides working on auditioning, on camera auditioning, scene study, monologue work, technique, script analysis, character development, is also inclusive of the business of show business. Because if you don't know how to put together a professional headshot and a professional resume, and what is protocol for how to say when you're ready and your work is at a certain quality, that now you want to look for an agent. What are the proper ways to do that? Who are the good agents? You know, like in any industry, there's always that old saying, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Right.
There's a lot of good, but there is a little bit of bad, and there's some downright ugly, okay? There really is, okay? I have had a number of times where someone has come and they have spent a couple of $1,000 doing some kind of contest, some kind of,
Okay.
you know, you're a finalist, but now you need to pay us this.
Right. I got those
or
emails.
I will represent you, but you have to get your headshots from me, and you give me so much money.
Yes.
And the simple guideline is any legitimate agency charges when you book work. And that is a simple truth and guideline. In a right-to-work state like Georgia,
Right.
the agency does not have to be a SAG franchised agency to be considered reputable.
Right.
Now, if they were in New York or California and they weren't SAG franchised, you'd have to put a big question mark there because they are not right-to-work states.
Okay.
Georgia is a right-to-work state. That's why, like Scott was saying earlier when we were talking, that it's easier here to go and get a speaking role on a union set because you're not penalized for hiring the non-union actor. In New York and LA, you're actually fined by the union for hiring a non-union actor on a union set. Geez, nodding over there, he knows, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of my first very early roles, no one's even going to remember this, was on a show called The Edge of Night for ABC.
Oh, what?
I do remember that. That was a darn good show. There's nothing wrong with that show.
And that's how I became union. And I got lucky. They wanted me, and I'd given, I guess, a good enough audition that they wanted to hire me. But they actually paid a fine to take me and put me on the show
Wow.
because
That's
I was
huge.
non-union.
And he was that
but
good.
But I was
That's
in the
it.
States, so I got that. And then from that, I was able to then join my sister unions in the other unions for stage, which again is not that strong here, is called the Actors Equity Association. And that is for like Broadway and off-Broadway. And of course, the Screen Actors Guild. AFTRA no longer exists, by the way. It has been, I should say, maybe not no longer exists, but has been wrapped now into the Screen Actors Guild. Okay. But these little bits of knowledge, an actor should understand what AFTRA was, what it stands for, what unions the Screen Actors Guilds oversee, what an agency should charge, what is an acceptable commission structure, what is protocol for submitting, what is the proper way to set up a resume, where do you go for good headshots, what should you pay for headshots? What shouldn't you pay for headshots? How many looks you should have? How you should dress? What your background should be? How do you take a headshot and not just pose, but present an image and a feeling? If you just take a pose, you don't want to look like your driver's license.
That's my confused face.
Right? God, I don't know. How come we all look terrible on our driver's licenses?
All right.
I always
I don't
smile
know.
on mine. I tell them no.
Is that what?
I smile on mine. I tell them,
Will the defendant please rise? Number two, I'm right here. Yes.
but it's work.
Yeah.
And another thing, people like, how do you get a reel if you haven't been in any speaking roles?
I think that's a combination. You wanna
You know, because
Tag
that's
with
what
me on this?
something.
Well, there's another way to get it, and it's a fabricated reel.
Okay.
Now, some people say that's a great idea, and some people will say that's a terrible idea.
Okay.
In the end result, you need to listen to your heart. But there's only a couple of places that really do a reputable job. Do your due diligence. In my opinion, there's a couple of places, a lot of places will do it, but do your due diligence when you check out where you're getting it done. It needs to be shot in a special way that highlights your ability to give and receive information in that scene. There to be a certain amount of time in duration. It's to be professionally done. It's not to be shot by amateurs. Don't try to do this yourself, guys. Please don't try
So
to
those
do
ones
this
we
yourself
see
at
that's
home.
taking on click and all that.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a mistake. This is going to be your professional calling card. You're real. This is like your headshot or your business card. This is how they're going to know your work. So make sure that it's professionally done. If you have your own work, then you can go and collect it, upload it, and get it uploaded and edited down and present it that way. Those are my two ways that I know to get a reel, is to collect your produced work or have it fabricated and made for you.
Right.
Okay.
And I agree. And the pricing for that, if you were having it done yourself, can range dramatically. And sometimes it's fair because of the type of equipment that they have. Sometimes it can be a little high, but I don't know. I've heard everything from 500 to 2,500.
No, it's for 2 to 3 colors. Runs anywhere between $300 to $475.
Okay. Is that for how many different scenes though?
That's 2 to 3 scenes.
2 to 3 scenes.
Yep. From what I understand, at least, I'm no real fabricator, but what I understand, that's 30 seconds each in duration.
Okay.
That's written for you, staffed for you, edited for you, with a music bed put down.
Really?
Shot with 3 different POVs or points of view.
Okay.
A master, and then 2 different over the shoulders that shows you giving the information and then receiving the information.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the price range that they're in. It shouldn't be more than $500,
I didn't
and it shouldn't even probably
So
be
you know
that
better than me
much.
on
No,
It should be more to the range of the high 3s, low 2s.
And let me put a caveat on that. If your work is not yet at a point where
Thank
because
you,
they
Nick.
can't teach you to be
Okay.
the actor.
Right.
They're there to shoot this.
Right.
So if your work is not yet at a certain level, that when they do this, your work comes across professional, good quality work that suggests this actor would be hired for pay
Right.
to work, don't do it.
Okay.
You're not ready. You're simply showing them that you're still in training, that you're still learning.
Let's back that up. Say it again.
There you go.
You gotta put in the work. So put in the work.
Just like if an actor wants to get an agent, let's say they get their headshot, they get their resume, they put as best they can on a resume.
Right.
But they're not ready that if they were to go in and they were to show the agent a monologue, or the agent was to hand them sides, right, those are pages from the script, and have them do a read, if their work is still at a beginner or even mid-range type, they're going to see that the odds of them being able to get the job is going to be very limited. And an agent can't stay in business unless their talent books work.
Right. That makes sense.
Simple.
Oh my Lord.
So wait,
Patience.
be patient.
Take the pride
Patience is
out
the
of it.
virtue.
That's right.
There's no pride in this industry. It'll eat you up
Yeah.
if you think that pride is going to carry you. It's not. It's
Why do you say that?
practicality.
One
I mean,
stop.
literally, why do you say that? Because, and then I think I do already have the answer, because I hear many actresses, some that like Meryl Streep, what she used to do before she became who she is now. So that's what you're saying. Don't put pride in, like, I know I'm going to go and get the scene or whatever.
You could be confident. Be confident. Be very
Okay.
confident in yourself and in your abilities. You need to be, because the industry will eat you up if you're not confident.
Yes,
Be
they can see
but
it.
pride is something different. Pride, the Bible says, pride cometh before a
But
fall.
you're right,
That kind of stuff.
But you feel it, you can discern it. So what would be the mannerism of a person who you know when they walk in that door is pride? I'm asking you.
Haughty.
Yeah.
You take the last roll off of your plate and look at you while you're starving and say, thank you, I'll eat that. That's pride.
Yeah, you're right.
Confidence is something different.
Oh, yes.
You exude confidence.
Yes.
Confidence holds the door for you.
Yes, you're right.
That's confidence.
You're
This is some
right.
good stuff.
Very good. Oh, very good. I like your cliche that I read. And that cliche you put in there, that surrounds more or less what you put in that book. Now, see, I figured you didn't
She's like, I said
know.
something good. What was it?
You said it real good, but I'll tell you about it. I liked it, and it has to catch my attention. It has to be real good, and it stood out. But anyway, because I told you, you know it more than I do, but go ahead.
So what type of techniques is good for actors first starting out that you like to teach?
Take that, Nick.
I think that there's 3 tried and true that have proven the test of time. And I believe Meisner technique is that all actors should have an understanding of, a basic fundamental of. I believe the teachings of method acting, this is what I mentioned earlier, Lee Strasberg, who was the godfather of that, has tremendous value. Method acting would be, may he rest in peace, Heath Ledger as the Joker. That's method
He was
acting.
awesome.
Right.
Oh my God.
Same like Monsters, like Charlize Theron,
Yes.
that's method acting. And I also believe that the disciples of Uta Hagen and Herbert Berghoff that talked about how using real and imaginary substitution. Stanislavski talked about it. Although Stanislavski, to read him is very difficult, hard reading. I usually don't recommend actors to actually read his writings because it's difficult reading.
In what way?
How would you describe it? It's hard. It's very.
It's very wordy.
Yeah.
And it's very abstracted points. It doesn't keep your attention necessarily. At least that's my interpretation of it. It's hard to keep my attention with the books.
Okay.
It's just a long read.
Yeah.
It's a long read.
Yeah. And I've seen teachers disregard one or two of them, claiming, oh, that's and they'll disregard. How foolish is that to disregard 3 approaches that can all be used at different times for different reasons, that have proven their worth over extended years and have been used by many celebrated talents, all of them. How dare you disregard any of them?
Wow.
Or is it simply because you don't really know how to teach it?
Right.
Yeah, you haven't figured it out.
You
so
can't figure it out, so therefore it's no good.
discard.
Well, you should have learned to figure it out.
So it's almost like a similarity of Einstein. Somebody coming in trying to absorb Einstein and don't have no idea of what Einstein speaks about. Is that what you're saying?
Sure, you want to pass on it, basically. So, and
This hammer's broken.
because these 3 are different in their approaches, is that depending on what you're doing, you may want to reach here, you may want to reach here. You know, as I say to actors, this is as you continue to build the library in your brain,
Okay.
where you reach for things of experiences that you've had in life,
Yes.
builds the brain. The greatest joys, the toughest hardships.
Yes.
We've all gone through them. I don't know anybody who's just had a perfect road in life.
Right.
It'd be nice if we all could, but life doesn't work that way.
You're right.
And using that is a part of where, when you use something like substitution and you use real, that's real now, there's also imaginary, is that you take something from here, and if it still brings back the feeling or the emotion, it now can be used in the scene. Some teachers don't want to do that because either they're afraid of it or they don't understand it, but it is so viable of a choice. Now, if you go on a set and Sean gets to go on and be the pretty party goer, and she gets to go flirt with the guy, and she has like this really cute scene with maybe 10 lines.
Okay.
Does she have to go through all of that? Probably not. She might just say, am I really listening and reacting? Have I made a choice about who's this cute guy for me?
Okay.
And have fun, trust the truth of it, and you can use more of Meisner, and you don't have to go in such depth as, say, the uses of real and imaginary substitution. But then if you look at the role of Heath Ledger in The Joker, that's method acting to the core. That was Lee Strasberg to the core. That is method acting. That's when he locked himself in a hotel room, and he stayed in there, and he isolated himself because he believed that the Joker was going insane, and he felt he had to find the insanity. Now, that can be dangerous. You got to be careful. Got to be careful. It could be dangerous, but that is it. I'll tell you an interesting story. I thought he did it partially to this.
Okay.
And shut me up when I'm talking too
No,
much.
no,
because
no. Hey,
This is
Italians have diarrhea of the mouth. You know that, right?
no.
You know that? Okay.
It's interesting.
Can I say that? Was that a bad word to say? I can say
No.
that.
Not if you're Italian. You can say that if you're Italian. Forget about it.
Years ago, we all know who Marlon Brando was.
Oh, yes.
Now, Marlon Brando trained under Lee Strasberg as well. So he was method trained. And not everything he did was method-based.
Okay.
After his career had taken a downturn, he wanted to have a chance to audition for The Godfather. You remember this. The producers and director told the agent no. Said that Marlon Brando was not right for the role, that he just couldn't play this type of Italian gangster, the Godfather, and we appreciate it. The agent begged the casting director to please see him. She says, this is Marlon Brando, the Academy Award-winning actor. He's not asking you for the role. All he's asking for is an audition.
right.
When Marlon Brando went in, he had practiced. He had stuffed. You know how he had the big
Cotton.
jaws? You know how those were? He stuffed his mouth with cotton swab and filled it. And then he spent some time to think, how do I be the Godfather?
You see?
What would make, and that's a part, you could use that towards a sense of method.
Okay.
And when he went in, the rest is history. Not only did he end up getting the role,
He was in
But
character.
he won the Academy Award for
Okay.
Best
All
Actor.
right. So they had him
as the
up to about
Godfather.
4 more, wasn't it? All the way up
Wow.
until
Yeah.
4. Yes.
So he was in
Oh.
character.
Yes.
And
he
he,
became
and he
that
walked
person.
in as the Godfather.
See?
Now, I'm not saying, Nick's not saying or suggesting
Right,
that you
right.
should go walking into your auditions
Like a gangster.
as your character, unless, of course, you're Marlon freaking Brando and make yourself to home.
Oh, but
But-
yeah.
but
That's
there's an
awesome.
example.
Oh my Lord.
So, and not a lot of teachers have the background or the training to know all three of these. And again, I'm just very lucky. I'm not trying to, I guess I am tooting my own horn or tooting the teacher's horn.
But you're good.
Is that
Right.
the teachers all have this knowledge and skills and ability. You know, one of my basic guidelines is for someone to teach at my studio, I want to see that they have no less than 15 years under their belt. And then I want to know what they know, and then I want to see how they teach before I'd even consider them, because you represent the name of the professional actors studio.
Right,
You're
his brand.
representing the studio name.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't blame
Now we need to let them know how you can be contacted.
Okay.
'Cause I know
Yes.
many.
That way, yes, that's important.
Yes.
You know, we haven't figured that out yet, huh? How do they contact us now?
The phone rings,
I'm
you pick it
joking.
up. Hello.
Things like that,
Hello.
emails when you want emails, so at least you know you can always check your email every day and all that. It's up to you all.
Yes, ma'am.
Most people either call us. Is it okay to
Go
say
whatever.
it? Okay. So the website is proactorsstudio.com. So it's
Pro
one word,
Actors,
right?
uh-huh.
Studio.com, which is one word with 2 S's.
Okay.
Right? Proactorsstudio.com. A lot of actors call us. It's you want me to say the
Yes.
number?
Go ahead. Yes.
It's 404
Okay.
943 1873.
One more
Okay.
time.
And they can just call us.
That rings right to his home.
right.
It rings right to his house. It's his home office.
To
It
make
goes
sure
ring,
they
ring,
get it.
ring. He says,
One more
hello.
time.
You know what's funny? I get a lot of times people will call me and they figure they're going to get an assistant or a secretary, right?
And it's
they'll
him.
go-
Right.
And they'll go,
I-
is
yes.
this Nick? I say, yeah, why not? So,
So
and again,
humble.
anybody who's not been to the studio can come and audit one time for free. They can go onto the website. They can do it online if they want.
Okay.
There's no obligation. No one's going to ask them. No one's going to try and pressure them to join. We do have certain things that we do ask. You have to be on time.
Okay.
No,
All
see?
of us.
Stick-
You're not there
Yes.
within 5 minutes,
Right.
we lock the doors.
All right.
Period.
You're done. That's it.
Same thing in
that's
Academy
how it
Awards
is.
and everywhere
There you go.
else.
Yeah.
So yes, exactly.
Stay to the end. Be courteous for us.
Yes.
It's 3 hours. It's 3 hours.
Church.
Yeah, that's right. You don't want someone getting up. Right?
Oh,
Right.
that was the rudest
Disturbing.
thing when I see it. I always sit in the back of the
Yes,
church,
ma'am.
and I see somebody. Now they could be even given the altar call, and people jump up like out. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's so rude.
Yeah. We're not done.
Some pastors will tell you
Yeah.
we're not over yet.
That's right. Yeah, because they know how long the church service is, right? They know. It's not like they don't
Right.
know, right? So same thing. Right now, because of the COVIDs,
Right.
we are asking everyone to wear a mask. If they forgot, I've got 300 extra ones in the studio. We ask everyone to do the hand
Test the environment
sanitizer like
COVID-free.
we've got here. And then we do check everybody's temperature just to make sure. And then we ask them to spread out. We have a nice building. We're right on Piedmont Road in the Buckhead area. And so especially upstairs, everyone can spread out. The lower space downstairs is not quite as good, but there is enough to not be on top of each other, to have some social distancing. And so far it's proven well. Even us as teachers, we'll wear this mask. If the actors are far enough apart on the staging area, and usually it's really closer to 8 feet, really, than 6, and they really feel the need, because I know this can be hard to breathe sometimes, then we'll give them that flexibility. But even us as teachers are doing the same thing to honor this. And then depending on the week, we work on, like say, cold reading auditions. We have camera upstairs, downstairs, 4K cameras. We'll do improv. We'll do cycles of prepared work.
Okay.
We'll work on the technique, script analysis, character development, and all the times are all on the website. They can just go on there. We have daytime, we have evening, we have weekend classes. We break up the adults between beginners, intermediates, and advanced. And then we also have teens and preteens. Those right now are online. They were in the studio before, but there was a lot of concern, especially by the parents.
Right.
And so we went online with that, and it's actually proved very well. Rachel O'Hara teaches that. She's a wonderful actress and a wonderful teacher.
And she teach what?
And she teaches
Online.
the teens
Okay.
and the preteens. So the preteens are 8 to 13-year-olds, and the teens are 14 to 19-year-olds. A lot of studios start the adults at 18. We start the adults at 20.
Okay.
So for us, it's 20 for the adults. And all the adult classes are 3 hours long.
Okay.
And everybody works every class.
Yes. One thing Nick, you haven't mentioned this yet. You kind of touched on it, but one thing that I really like to push about the studio is we are a non-disciplined studio, meaning that we just don't come and shove Meisner down your throat. We don't make you repeat. We don't go learn, feel. It's kind of, we kind of figure out how you learn. And we cater to that and then show you how the rest of the disciplines, the only reasons they're there is to complete the circle of truth and honesty so you can find your path to honesty. That's what we're trying to find is our own honesty. There's no wrong way to do this. If it clicks for you, that's wonderful. Let's figure out how that works for you and show you how other words you can find that in other ways too. Because if you're on set and one way doesn't work, you've got to find that honest spot anyways. So let's dig into the tool belt and find some other ways to find that honest place.
And they're good with redirecting you.
Absolutely.
And Nick is responsible for that. He created
That's
that
good.
environment and he allows us to work within those parameters. And for that, we're all very thankful.
Well, thanks. Yeah, and Scott, you hit it right on the head because it is true. And in fact, haven't we ever seen where more than one actor does a particular performance and they have a different interpretation or a different approach to it? And it's not necessarily that one is better than the other. They both might be terrific. One might have just in their own way found a little more humor into the character, or one found a little more of the dark side of the character, or one found whatever in it. I mean, think of all the different Jokers we've seen. The first one was Jack Nicholson.
Yes.
Right? Where does he get all those wonderful toys? And it was Jack Nicholson.
Right.
And then this Heath
the
Ledger
dark
comes
side.
in.
Oh my God.
Ooh. And we've seen that with Batmans. How many different Batmans have we seen?
The bad one was
I'm
Dark
Batman.
Knight.
I didn't like it either.
You know, Dark Knight became when he became kind of like,
Right.
I'm not going to say evil, but okay, whatever.
How many Batmans have we had? 4?
Several.
5?
Enough.
So you had George Clooney, you had Michael Keaton. We had.
And I like
who was
them
the other
all.
one?
was first, right?
Who?
No, it was,
Yes, Michael
Oh,
Keaton was
was?
first. George Clooney. Who's the
Val
other?
Kilmer.
Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
And who was the other one? The one I didn't like very much.
Val Kilmer.
Was it Val Kilmer? Was he the one who went?
No.
I'm Batman. No.
oh, yeah,
that was
Val.
that was another one. The one who kept going, I'm Batman. And I went, no, you're not. No, you're not. Nice try.
That was a dark day for the Batman.
Oh,
I
God.
can't wait till this one come out, whatever this, it was, isn't it Moonlight guy that's doing the Batman for this one? You know, the guy that played
Bruce
the
Willis.
Wolfman.
Bruce Willis?
No.
Because he did
The one
Bruce
that,
Willis?
No.
the one that played,
Yeah, Bruce
no, the
Willis.
Moonlight, you know what, the Wolfman, that everybody,
From the movie Moonlight?
yeah, from
Oh,
Roland,
Moonlight,
J.K.
I
Rowling,
got
isn't that
you.
J.K. Rowling?
Moonlighting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Yes, that dude from
bad with names.
Twilight.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes.
The little skinny
Twilight.
guy.
Oh,
He's
yeah?
going to be Batman.
Close. Twilight, Moonlight.
I got you, DC. We're on the same wavelength. The Moonlight. Work with me. Work with me.
Close. It's close.
Oh, but let me ask you this, because I'm listening to you
Movies
all.
for 200.
Have you ever thought about getting a curriculum at schools to
How
go
do you
teach
mean?
classes?
Never.
For acting
No.
classes at school?
Yeah, acting class, a curriculum for them, because they would do it. Kids would love to take those classes.
Oh, I don't have the
There's a
kind
lot.
of thing to teach a
Certification or
child. I don't think I'm wired that
Oh, you
way.
would?
Do I look like I have the constitution to teach a child?
Yes, you do.
I do?
Yes.
You're a visionary. DC, I think more and more of you. I do.
But you all would,
Thank you.
you would be fab. Can I at least talk to some of the superintendents and throw that idea out there?
Wow, Nick, this is your ball, man. This is
You said, whoa.
what a fantastic
You know,
concept.
I would probably have the other teachers. I'll tell you because I'm being pretty good right now, but I'm conscious of it.
Okay.
When I teach inside the studio, you have no idea what comes out of my mouth.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. What goes on at the
because sooner
studio
or later-
stays at the studio.
Sooner or later, my mouth will slip,
Yeah.
and something will come out. You know, I don't know. I think it was what happened is when you're born and raised in the Bronx of New York.
Al Pacino.
But it gets through.
She's laughing, you know, right?
You know, and don't say you're sorry if you mess up. Oh,
Strike those two words from your professional vocabulary.
they'll make
I'm
sure
sorry.
once they done with you, you remember not to say sorry anymore.
Absolutely not. That's correct.
Just keep it moving.
You know who would be wonderful for that? Rachel would be wonderful.
She is magical with children.
And teenagers.
Magical. Yes.
She's magical.
She's good with adults too, but she's got this special something with kids.
You gotta have a lot of patience because you know it's one-on-one. You gotta.
Okay, real talk. I need to.
Matt would be good at it. You know who else would be good at
Yes,
it?
he would.
Jay, even though
Yes,
he's
he
still on
would.
tour with his wife. One of our teachers got married, and they decided to go.
Which one?
Jay
Playburn.
Plyburn,
Okay, I hadn't
and
heard.
Whitney, and
nice.
Jay. They converted a van.
Oh wow!
They're spending 6 months just seeing America.
Oh my God.
They said once in a while we're going to get a hotel room. I said you're going to do that more than once in a while.
What is that about? Where are we going in this show? What are you doing?
And he has a great way with
Yes.
that too.
Nice.
He has a great way with it. I think it takes a special
get ready to get
skill
into this, okay?
to teach. I think it takes a special skill. I think Scott would have it far better than me. I actually don't think I have that skill. I mean, not that I couldn't substitute and teach if someone needed me to, but I just don't think I have the skill. My entire life, you know, I've been acting.
I think y'all do. Because I'm telling you, to
you're
hold my
so
attention, I'm
big.
telling you, whenever you see me taking notes, I'm
got
absorbing
it.
you.
You are very sweet. and confident.
They got.
I believe in your vision.
They got.
And you don't understand, I'm absorbing more than what I'm writing, but I could take this right here and probably tell you everything you said tonight. Well, today.
I love that.
Wow, I love that. I love that.
That goes to my heart. Yes, it does. Thank you.
You know, the kids and teens are wonderful, and because they do, they're just full of energy and life, and you do need that kind of special teacher that knows how to communicate at a place
Yes.
that's right for them.
You're right.
Where I've through all my years of being an actor and teaching, has been always with the adults. Once in a while, maybe I can count on one hand the amount of times I maybe covered a class for one of the teens.
Yes.
It's just not. It's not something that I just don't think I'd be good at it. I just don't. But thank you for thinking that way.
Okay.
You never know you can swim till someone pushes you in the pool.
Yeah.
So G-Way has a question.
right.
Okay.
What are, or what is, or maybe it's are, some of the common mistakes you see actors make?
Yes.
That routine mistake that they think this is the way you act.
That's
a good question.
incredibly good question.
That's the problem.
Yes.
What? That you're acting.
Yeah.
You're acting, right?
Okay.
Trying to pretend you're somebody else, I think, is a huge mistake. Trying to be something that you're not. Find the commonalities between the character and yourself.
Okay.
Be yourself first and foremost.
Okay.
That would be a huge mistake in my book, is to try to be something you're not.
Absolutely.
All right now.
And of course, that is different when you have the time to actually become somebody else. Then that's different. Some of the mistakes that I see, an actor coming into an audition and seeing, in a script, there's stage manager's notes, right? These are the concepts. The writer thinks how he would see something played out.
Okay.
So the scene starts where, he enters the room. So we watch the actor leave the audition screen, walk in, and show us how to mime opening a door and walking in.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, they doing too much.
To the casting director or the producer, you're saying, you need to show me that you know how to enter a room?
Yeah.
You've never entered a room before. Wow, that's really good. You know how to walk through a door. God bless you. Of course not. You don't mime. You don't show us you're taking. He picks up and has a drink. So in the middle of the audition scene, you see someone go like this. Terrible. Terrible.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what.
You don't mime. If in the stage manager's notes it says she cries, and all of a sudden you go ahead and you try to cry,
You could.
that's ridiculous. Now, if in your heart you're in the scene and all of a sudden it brings something to you and it works, that's different.
gotta be real.
And also working from the truth. Don't try to perform. Trust your truth and your feelings in a scene.
You said that better than I did. That was my first point. That was very articulate.
Yeah,
Thank
no,
you.
but that's it. Well, you hit
I
it
didn't
too.
do so good.
Yeah, no.
I am going.
I think that the more we trust ourselves, sometimes an actor wants to overly signal something. Kind of like, if someone feels sick to their stomach and in the read they start, and they're trying to show us. And again, but that goes back to a truth.
Okay.
But I will say that within all of that, being a risk taker and not being afraid to give is good. But being a risk taker in truth, okay? But also know that there's sometimes that old saying, keep it simple, stupid, also does have value. If you have one sentence and it says, I'll see you Friday, Scott, don't try to create this masterpiece of a performance. It's one sentence. Just say the line.
I'll see you later, Scott.
Yeah.
You hear, cut! What?
Oh, get up, get out.
Oh my God.
Do less.
Golden rules for actors. On time is 15 minutes early.
That's key.
Okay. Late is not acceptable, period. You bet.
They all frown
If
on
you're
that.
late, then you better have passed away. Okay.
Come, I'm missing a limb. Show it. Yeah. I'm sorry I'm late. My arm is missing.
Some professors are like that. You walk in that room after everybody's set, they be like, back out the door.
Yeah. Can't even get in.
That's right.
That's what I'm
Door's
saying.
locked.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
You do your work, you know your lines. But also, as you grow as an actor, you can also learn that there's times when you're going to have the freedom with things. There will be times that an actor might. I remember years ago, I have two very good friends. One is still living, one has passed away. And we were all living in California at the time. So I started my career in New York, and eventually my agents wanted me in LA, and then I did another 12, 13 years in LA. And then I came here spring of '97, which is also when I started teaching as soon as when I came. The only reason why I can remember that? I remember it was the year after the Olympics were here.
Oh, okay.
Spring
96.
Olympics were in '96,
Yes.
and I came here in the spring of '97.
Okay.
And when I was in LA, two of my good friends were co-starring in a movie with Tom Berenger called Someone to Watch Over Me, directed by Ridley Scott. He's an Academy Award-winning director.
I know.
And what was so cool, Wrigley was so cool, is that, us actors, anytime there's free food, that's a good thing. So I was on the set every day because the food was great. Free food. Free food.
Good food.
And it was great because I loved watching my buddy Tony, who is, I don't know if Tony's going to see this or hear this, my
I
good
hope
buddy
he does.
Tony DiBenedetto,
Hi,
who is
Tony.
retired now, living in Savannah, Georgia.
Nice.
He had a 30-year career. He worked with some of the greats, De Niro. He's worked with all of them, and he's one of my best friends. And my other buddy, Jimmy Moriarty, who's not with us anymore. Okay. And so they were doing this lineup scene.
Okay.
And Berenger was in it, Tony, Jimmy, and about 7 of them. I was watching it going, it's not working. Because it felt like you have a line, you have a line, you have a line, you have a line, you're like, you have a line, you have a line. It just felt like something wrong with it. I was watching, and all of a sudden, Ridley Scott stopped it and said, guys, it's not working. And I thought, yeah, it's not working. He says, let's take 10. He says, do me a favor. Let's throw the script out. You guys know what the scene is about.
Okay.
Do it in your own words.
Improv.
Let me just see you go ahead and
Yeah, you
improv
got
this
this.
scene.
Yeah.
And this, again, is why we do improv at the studio.
Yes. I
Go
love
ahead.
that.
Do it in your own, because he says, I don't think this is flowing right. And I was there, and I'm thinking, absolutely, it's not working.
Right.
They came back, and in the first take, they made magic. This scene just played beautifully. It was all pure and instinctual. It didn't feel like line, zip, line, zip.
Right.
And Wrigley said, you know what? Give me one more for the Gipper, and we'll put that in the can, and we'll go home, move on to the next scene.
Right.
And because they're all pros,
That's
and they knew exactly what to do with it. And it was just wonderful. It was wonderful to watch. So improv is another skill that an actor should have
Okay.
in case it might be asked of him.
Right.
Or
My
her,
students
or
freaked
her.
out today in class because I asked them to do that exact same thing. Give me your script. Improv the scene.
scene.
Memorize the story, not the lines, people.
Right.
Memorize the story.
It's better
That's
like
right.
that.
So did it?
They did great. I was so proud of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
they kind of panicked a little bit. And I
Yeah.
said, you swim, you got this, you got this. And they
Right.
swam beautifully. I was proud. They were proud. It was a good moment.
So now, what I want to know is, right now, someone walked in and wanted you to do a movie.
Uh-huh.
Which, I mean, how would you feel about doing that? You think you just walk on in and learn your
Oh,
lines and
absolutely. Be wonderful. I love character work like that.
Yeah.
you do?
Yes.
No, because I'm gonna tell you why. I've got to go and pull my. I don't know why they sent. Yes, I do. Even when I'm thinking, because I've been with a lot of people in Hollywood back when I was young, but
Okay.
they still send it to my email. They be need people to do skits on TV shows, voiceovers, all kind of stuff, and I just look at it, okay, and cut them out and go. One came in today, and I tried to send it to your email. They needed somebody. I don't know what it was, but they needed me to send somebody over there. So I'm gonna send some stuff to your email.
Well, thank
Okay,
you.
sure.
Okay, that'll work.
That's very kind of you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I said, I'm not an actress and I'm not an actor. Oh God, but you all are great. I observe
And can you
all.
tell them,
I'm
because they
telling you.
work with
you.
Tyler Perry's casting director, can you tell them how you know Tyler Perry? Because she
You
was
know
there.
Tyler? We don't know Tyler. We know Raven Drummer and then Michael Gillespie, but Michael's no longer doing
tell the
casting in the
story.
studio.
Look at you. I don't have
Yeah.
to tell that story over and over again.
One more
Okay, but
time.
no.
One more again.
When I was DC, for real, at the as a well, I don't like to use the word DJ, but an announcer. The opportunity to run a radio station, and I was there as the GM. In fact, they were supposed to give me that radio station after I made the station $2 million because it went off the air, completely off the air. And I remember flying to up in Virginia to the office, and I remember the owner of the stations, Willis Broadcasting. My partner and I walked in, and like again, I sat all the way at the back. But in the process of our presentation, he looked at my partner, and I could see it was going all the way down. And he said, "Daughter," and again, that's me. You? And I started telling him, I said, because it's a gospel station, I can't give you a presentation. The presentation comes straight from heaven. That's God's. So I said, the problem of it is, if you give it to me and I give it back to God, this would be the #1 radio station in Atlanta, Georgia. And do you not know it did? It knocked 4 different stations off, gospel station. We had Kathy Hughes given an offer to give $5 million to take the station over.
Wow.
But what happened, but no, let me finish with Tyler.
Yeah.
I was sitting in my office, and I remember someone said, young man with a play, and what was it, Medea something?
Medea.
That's what it was.
Yeah, it was Medea.
But I remember they said, he doesn't have any money, and maybe 150 to the max, but he would barter with tickets to the Fox Theater. And I'm sitting there like, because I didn't never hear about him because he wasn't Tyler Perry then.
Right.
But I remember I said, bring the tapes here. And I remember one of my young girls who worked with me, Diva, that was her name. She walked in and she said, Pastor Curry. She said, here they are. What you going to do with that? I said, put it on full rotation. I heard God just as clear as day said, put him on full rotation 24 hours a day.
Wow.
And it went on for like a year and a half, just free.
And actually, didn't they just announce a
Yes,
couple of days ago that he just
Wow.
became a
Billionaire.
billionaire?
Millionaire. That's it.
You're sensitive to the small, still voice.
Yeah.
But even with the people, I know you know their name. You can't play with it. Kirk Franklin, Mary, Dietrich Haddon, Fred Hammond. I remember my children, because it was such a rinky-dink station, we couldn't really get announcers unless they was asking for a whole lot of money. And my children, which was like 18, 17, 16, they were always there with me. And I remember so many times we did not have an announcer. And I remember I said, Gabriel, Keitha, and I think it was Tutu, that's my baby now. But I said, do you all want to run the station board? And they looking at me like, Mama, are you crazy? Because they don't talk. And I said, you think you could do it? He said, you show me what to do. And my daughter, Keitha, they said, show me what to do. They brought all those orders, CDs that I had in the back, because it was quartet time back in 1997, 1998, 99.
Okay.
And they said, can we play these, Mama? And they put that board together, honey. They had people calling from all over. I like that. Can I give a request? I said, whatever. Had everybody trying to say, but why they do not talk, Mom? I mean, why do they do not talk? And they said, Mama, I'm not talking. And they never did say a word. But, I mean, put them on the map. Wow. And I had stations calling in. And they were saying, do we have a playlist? Because, you know, as an announcer, you have to have a playlist. Right. God gave me the playlist. Wow. And that's where they at today. And some of them knows, but God knows.
You can't argue with that.
To bring it up from zero, off the air for 6 months, to the well-known station where Kathy Hughes was ready to give $5 million.
Wow.
And when I went back there to say, are you going to sell me the station? Nope. Really did a crazy thing, but I'm not even going to speak about that because that's the will of God.
That's right.
Wow. And is it still on the air now?
That's what I was going to tell you, but they came against me. And God said, it's in my hands. And do you not know when it hit God's hands, it went off the air. And now, because I was trying to approach the FAA to buy it, they said WTJH would never go on the air again.
Oh.
Wow.
That was God.
Story.
That's it. I'm going to leave it just that way.
Makes a mug think, don't it?
All right. But I mean, like I said again, you all are just awesome.
Oh my goodness.
I wish I had a desire to be an actress, but I don't. But y'all will be the perfect person.
And they give us the platform to be in our second childhood. Because you know how they make us stop, you know, you grown, stop acting like this, but now we can play again.
Yes. You're so
And
right.
it's amazing.
And you know something for Sean, she always has this great attitude.
Yes.
She comes,
Yes,
she
she
works,
does.
she learns.
Yes.
She's always got this positive way. I see
Yes.
some of the stuff, you know, I'm not a huge Facebook person and stuff, but sometimes, and I'll see you on it, I go, oh, there's Sean. And you always seem to find the joy and the good in something, you know, and
I'm
that's
saying
actually,
life is too short, so I just try to just make sure everybody we all got to live here. We all have to exist amongst one another, so let's make the best of it.
Yeah, well, you
That's
bring
how
that
I
to
feel.
class, too, and you're an asset. Just so I don't know if anybody's told you that, but even in class, you're an asset to that as well.
Well, I
And
mean,
it's
we like to
appreciated.
support each other.
Yeah.
You know, but I just always like to make people feel like they belong. You know.
Right on.
Okay.
So.
Well, your wife will get you if she doesn't hear her name. So I'm going to let, which one of them want to go first to tell about their heart? Because I'm looking to get me a heart one day. You understand?
My heart.
Tell me a little bit about your best half.
My best half. Her name is Meredith Ditchin Oakley.
Okay.
She is
Meredith.
Hi,
He's
baby.
talking about you.
Hi, baby. I love you.
Okay.
She's a family law attorney in Woodstock.
Praise God.
Yes.
I may have to send some business her way.
She does real estate plannings. She does adoptions. She is a mediator.
Nice.
She's a guardian ad litem. And she does family law. And we have 5 children together.
Okay.
And gosh, she's my rock. She's my supporter. She's my biggest
Man,
fan.
talk about his woman like that.
Without her, I would be lost.
Okay, say it again.
She is my best half, and I love her dearly.
Nice.
See.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Hey, I saw his wife.
And
You're
I
gonna
know
have to show
Meredith
me
well
your wife, too. But I saw his wife, so tell me a little bit about her.
Well, she has her Thai name is a very long name, is actually Apishirada. But that's very hard to say. The English translation, you'll like this.
Okay.
In English, her name is Angel.
Oh, isn't that special?
And that is the real translation, for real.
Nice.
So
Okay.
you might say it's a nickname, but it is the real translation.
Nice.
Angel's originally from Thailand.
Okay.
And
Hey.
we dated for 4 years.
Angel. Okay.
Hey, Angel. When does this air? When is she going to?
It should be on
Well, she's
now.
saying right
Facebook,
now.
and we're going to send it
I
to
didn't
you, too,
even-
and you can be able to play
So
it.
Thursday it'll be on the network.
on the
Yes.
network? I didn't even
Thursday.
tell Angel that she could have
I
watched
didn't
it.
either tell
Oh.
Meredith. I'm a bad husband.
Angel's home.
I'm sorry.
Angel's
I'm
home.
sorry.
Isn't Meredith home too?
Yes.
Well, I
They could be
tagged
watching
you
it.
guys on the
So
live feed.
if you text
So-
her, she probably can pull you up.
Right.
She might pull it up.
Well, now
Okay.
It's
are
on
we
your
ending?
page.
Am I-
It's almost ending. Yeah, that's exactly. But okay.
Smart for me to ask with 5 minutes left,
Wait till
right?
she finds out about this, guys. Wow.
So we dated for 4 years, living 23 hours by plane apart.
Wow.
That was
That
love.
long distance love.
About that for long
Yeah.
distance. I went there. You'd see, I was a good guy.
Okay.
I got on a plane 4 times to see her.
Okay.
23 hours one way to get to Thailand. That's a
That's
pain.
love there.
That's a pain.
How many hours?
By plane,
whole day.
23 hours.
One way.
Is it a 13-hour difference?
Yeah, it's well, it depends on the time of the year because of when we go forward and back. So sometimes it's 12 hours, and at other times these is 13 hours.
That's
and-
jet lag, man.
Yeah. you need a day just to get back.
Yeah.
But then it took a struggle to get her to be able to come here. When we decided we were getting serious and we decided we were getting engaged,
Right.
it still took a struggle. I thought it was going to be easy. And this was before everything got really, really tight because we've been married now over 7 years.
Okay.
So it was still difficult for some reason because I'm third generation American. I would have originally I thought, oh, this will be easy because Thailand is actually the greatest ally to the U.S. and Southeast Asia. You figure easy was not easy. I had to hire an attorney.
Dang.
And I couldn't understand.
It's all
and
about.
It
You
was
know,
not-
it's
it
the
was-
truth. It
That's
really
it.
is. No offense to anybody, but it seems like the more
Seriously.
you butter it, the easier it gets greased, you know?
That's all that is.
Very good. I like that.
Thank you very much. That's an impromptu thing. That's improv, people. Improv. I was acting. Pretty good, isn't it? That's not bad, is it? Yeah.
I have a question for
You're
Dee.
hired.
Dee, I think that all this equipment would look really nice at the professional actors studio. I think that you should consider moving over by us. I'll give you a better rent.
We can make a second one.
We'll work something out.
Okay.
Oh my God, I'd have had a great time. Now, you know what? I guess when the Lord says time for me to marry. But I was telling my son that's very strange. I said, I think I would like a long distance relationship. And look at your
Absolutely
look.
make the love grow fonder. Oh no, it's amazing.
Every individual
It's
is
good.
different. People love different.
Right.
They learn differently. They live differently. The
You
last
can
thing
appreciate
you
them more.
You think so?
Yeah.
You know
If
who-
you're serious.
You know who I think you would have liked? But I think he's happily married.
Oh, who is he?
And he came to my studio a while back, and I got a chance to meet him and hang out with him.
Uh-uh.
Denzel Washington.
Look at her.
Yeah. we have a picture of
I
there's
know.
a picture of him and me together in the
Yes.
studio.
Oh, yes.
He came to the studio to
Yes.
do callbacks for a feature film that he was doing. I got to tell you this. This was funny. Do we have enough time?
Do
Are we
tell.
almost done? Okay.
Are we good?
Okay.
It's like early in the morning, right?
Okay.
And when people call my studio, as you notice, we don't have a phone ring in the studio because we're teaching. We
Right.
don't want phones to ring.
Oh,
Everybody
okay.
shuts
Right.
their phones off.
Right.
So there's no phone in the studio. When someone calls, they're actually calling an office that's in my house.
Oh, okay.
And I usually don't get up till about 9.
Okay.
I got up earlier this day, and I'm having coffee in the office. It was about 8:30. I get this phone call, and he says, I says, hi, Professional Actors Studio. And he says, hey, is this Nick? Like he knew me. And I said, now I knew they were coming to do casting because I
Okay.
knew the casting director, and she rented the space on the lower level because we have the two levels, as you
Right.
know, upstairs and downstairs.
Yes.
And so thinking, okay, yeah, hey, this is Nick. He says, hey, Nick, it's Denzel. And I'm thinking, who the hell's Denzel? I'm not putting two and two together. And then all of a sudden I went, I'm so glad I didn't say who the. And I went, oh, hi. And he says, hey, could you do me a favor? I said, sure. He says, could you I'm trying to think who she was. Was it Carol? Who was the first name of the casting director? It's going back a few years. He says, would you let her know that I'm running about 15 minutes late to get to the studio to start the casting? And I said, you know what? No problem. Give me 10 minutes. I can throw my clothes on. I can get to the studio in about 10 minutes. Give me 15 minutes, and I'll get there and let her know because he didn't have her phone number. He says to me, wait a minute. You're not at the studio. I said, no, this is forward over to my home. He says, oh, no, I don't want you to have to do that. I said, no, really, I don't mind. I really don't mind. I said, I live 4.5 miles from the studio. He says, Nick, absolutely not. When I get there, we'll get started. He says, by the way, this is coming from, he says to me, I have heard such great things about you in the studio. Could you come down? I'd like to meet you. I said, excuse me?
I think I'm in trouble.
I said, I think it's the opposite way around. I said, I would love to meet you.
Okay.
He says, come on down. I said, wow, that'd be great. I said, I don't know my time. I said, love to. I said, what time should I come over? He says, come whenever you want. I said, no, wait a minute. I don't want to get in trouble with your casting director. Right? I said, now, understand, the casting director, they paid me to rent the space.
Right.
I mean, this was like just a business. I wasn't supposed
Right.
to. I said, please, tell me what's a good time for you.
Right.
And I don't want to interrupt your casting. He says, Nick, you come anytime you want. Doesn't matter. I stopped the casting. I want to get a chance to hang. I want to spend a few minutes and talk to you and get to meet you. I said, thank you. I said, I am privileged and honored that you would even want to meet me.
huge.
I mean, this is, to me, he's one of the most magical actors that we have.
Yes.
And I constantly talk about how he took a scene from Glory. Do you remember the movie Glory?
Yes.
There's a scene where he doesn't say a word. And he's being punished. Matthew Broderick played the captain, right? And he's being punished because he took a pair of shoes without asking. And so he's being punished. And what a wonderful scene. You could see that the captain loved his soldiers, but he had to teach discipline. But Denzel doesn't understand. And so he is getting punished. And back then, you got whipped. And in this scene, Denzel must have shown 5 or 6 different emotions, never saying a word. And at the end of the scene, you see a teardrop comes down the side of his face.
That's
you know
deep.
it, okay?
We got a fellow thespian over
And-
here. He knows this scene. This is a
You're
classic
gonna have
scene.
people that's viewing this trying to pull that movie
Yeah.
to watch it. That's what it is.
And that's one of the things we talk about as actors. You can say much with little.
Okay.
You can show multiple levels of emotions and colors, whether it's in or not in the spoken words. How many times have we felt something and no one is saying anything?
Yeah.
And we felt love or kindness or confusion or pain or anger or danger or resentment, confusion, and the list just keeps going.
Yes.
And so anyhow, that was my story, and we took a picture together, and I
It's
keep it
an
in the
awesome
studio.
picture.
And
I was like,
he was a person. But if I ever find out he gets a divorce, I'll see if I can reach out to him for you.
Denzel, come back to the studio. I have something for you today. Today I'm going to bless you, buddy.
But no, I know his wife is awesome. I love her, and she has just been right beside his side all the time, rocking Gibraltar. But hey,
it's amazing.
Not my will, but thine, Lord. I know.
okay. But no, even though I don't know how many minutes we have, but I don't. Oh, okay. Hey, Bob.
Oh, gee, wait.
But no, now again, tell the people how to get in touch with you, because I'm telling you, get ready to get.
Well, we're on Piedmont Road in Buckhead.
Yes.
Again, either that website,
Okay.
proactorstudio.com,
2 S's.
2 S's.
Okay.
The phone number's on the website as well.
Okay.
The address, directions. There's also bioinformation about Scott and
Okay.
all the other teachers and myself. The pricing, again, is on there.
Okay.
There's a weekly calendar on it, which can
Okay.
break up the different levels. Oh, I should mention this. There's a lot of experienced actors that also study at the studio. We have actors that have been acting for 5 or 10 or 15 years, and maybe they took a break, they want to come back, or they want to make sure they're going to the gym, especially now when the work is still not quite at the level it normally is. And if an actor comes and audits, let's say they audit an intermediate or an advanced level, and they feel that they belong in the more experienced level, then they would schedule an audition with me.
Okay.
It's not just given to you, it's earned. Everything we do in the studio is
I
based on
haven't earned
earning
it yet.
it.
I'm working on it.
Right, that's
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Baby steps.
And so that process, but again, they come and sit in, and then I can tell them what the process is for the audition, especially like an actor who's been acting for, say, 5 or 10 years.
Okay.
Many times they just feel, and rightfully so,
Okay.
that they're no longer in a beginner's level, but they want to either be in an intermediate. Scott teaches 3 intermediates a week.
I do, yes.
Okay.
Right? And Scott teaches 6 different classes a week at the
You
studio.
want to talk about being blessed? That is the epitome of being blessed. To be able to spend 6 days a week inside the studio and call it work.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
All right.
that's
I feel
now.
very
amazing.
fortunate.
When you love doing something, yeah, it's a blessing.
It is not
That's
work.
exactly. Oh,
And-
right. Look at Scott.
And especially when it's a
right.
holiday, they be so upset. Can we still come?
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
It's the
Yep,
truth.
yep.
You're good.
You
Even
know?
today, people wanted class today. I want to tell you how much he's got. He didn't sleep all that well last night. He only slept 3-4 hours, he told me.
Wow.
And he taught 2 classes today. He taught a 10-to-1 intermediate and a 2-to-5 beginners.
He's good.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Now, at least you can give me an idea. If you had the back cover of the magazine, what would you want? I'm thinking about let one be a small downsized caption like I have him. He's on one of my, what is that advertisement where you have you and Kirk, Tremaine Hawkins, and Fred Hammond. So I'm thinking
Right on.
like you and Scott up bigger. And then maybe you could see where you was with Denzel Washington once before, and you can grab some. If you want to do your wife, she would say, "Oh, yeah."
I would have loved that.
But yeah, think about it. Because what I'm going to do, I'm going to reach out to Paige, who is the web designer, not web designer, but the magazine, and I'm going to let her talk to you, and you all can tell her how you want it.
Oh, wow.
That's
great.
really exciting. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Okay.
Nancy.
So she's going to
Thank
come
you,
and take a
Sean.
shot of us, basically?
I think y'all going to have to download it because she's
telling you.
out, if I'm not mistaken,
You're
in
blessed
California
and
or
In
highly
Colorado.
California
blessed.
or Colorado? Okay.
Yeah. So
that.
Sure.
we do that.
So we send it to
My
her, we
little
download
son's
it,
gonna
send
be
it
on
to
there,
her.
I guess. And we got to get together, but and you know she's constantly sending my email, Deborah, and I heard her managers calling me all the time. Now we were wondering what happened. It's going on 3 weeks. You're supposed to have been on the front of September the 1st, and they said, but that's okay. We want you. Okay, so
Okay.
Apparently not time yet.
you know what?
That's
See,
it.
wise wisdom. Okay, is the best teacher. Okay,
It
now
is indeed, yes,
because there may be a purpose behind this.
There's
But
always a purpose behind it.
all right. Hey, do you have an anointing?
Yeah, Scott does.
I believe you
actually.
do, though, literally.
I remember now.
I'm telling you, your voice.
Tell
voice is
Scott.
just-
Do tell.
Okay.
I was
Yes.
raised to be in the ministry.
Yes, I
It's
remember
that
that.
preacher.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And I find a lot of satisfaction in teaching. And it's all about being familiar with oneself, and even in knowing yourself spiritually, finding your center ground. It's all about spirituality. It's about knowing about yourself emotionally, yourself psychologically. It's an entire buildup of yourself. It starts here. It's in the mind. It's all a game in your head. It's nothing to get wrapped up in morally or anything. It's pretend. It's in your brain. Relax and have fun.
Yep.
But you've got to be grounded to do it. And wherever you find that grounding, I'm not one to judge. Wherever you find it, if it works for you, man, full on. But find that grounding.
Now,
And
what
then
Nick got to
explore.
say about it?
I agree. I think that for everybody it's different. I think it's knowing for you what works, and every role can be different. What may work in one particular thing that you do may not work in something else that you do, and it's over time you're trying to kind of get your feel. I think in the beginning many actors they feel like they're right. You're trying to get a feel to find the right route. That's like a lot of
Find
times
a
we'll
rhythm.
suggest find.
Good word.
We'll suggest different books that you can also read. Some of them you can get in paperback, you get them used. You don't have to spend a lot of money.
Right.
But different teachers will have through different eyes, see different things. Sometimes we've sat in and taught together, and Scott comes to the studio and works also over on Wednesday with us too, and plays and things. And his eyes will see something different. I'll go, wow, that's great. I didn't even spot that, but he's got it. That's right. Or sometimes I might say something, and Scott will say the same thing. I'll say, you know what? I never even thought of that, but yeah,
It plays.
it plays.
And it's good.
Right. Or it could be the opposite. I could say, I saw that in the read, but I didn't think it had this. Scott might say, I think it did have that. And how many times have you gone to a movie
Right.
with one or two people, and everybody had a different feeling?
yeah.
Who loved it, who thought it was okay, who
Right.
didn't like it.
Who slept through it?
Yeah. Same movie, we're all together at the same time. Or who liked a particular performance or who didn't. Sometimes it's just sometimes you can't help yourself. You just go, nah, that's just good. But there is a certain amount of subjectivity in acting.
Yeah.
There are some fundamentals. You can tell if acting is bad acting. Bad acting, we can all tell it.
Okay.
And we'll go, oh boy, here we
Smell
go.
that?
Do you
Well,
know that
that's
one?
what I learned. What you guys were saying is all the facial expressions. So that's why they had to calm me down because I always wanted to do all that. So yeah, you don't need to do all that. They say less is more. And so I looked at the Bruce Lee documentary, and he was showing how he was doing. They were showing how he was doing it. All the expressions and all that. From just doing the slate and everything else. I was like, oh, so you don't do all that. You just. I was like, okay.
Do you
okay,
remember a
I'm taking
movie
it.
where you believe, even though everybody liked it or did not like it, there was bad acting? Do one come to mind?
I've seen a lot of B movies where I just think the acting is just, and you know what's interesting? I tend not to, I just don't remember them
That's how bad it is.
because I don't want to remember them. I don't remember. Haven't you ever seen a movie where you go,
Throw that
this
out.
was like torture to watch?
I could never get that
Or
time
how
back.
about a bad movie where, I'll tell you what we went to recently, we went to go see a movie where the acting was actually excellent, but the script was so weak that you just wanted the movie to end because there was nowhere it was going. The new one with Russell Crowe that just came out, Unhinged.
Wait a minute. When he was like he was old
saw
and
it?
all that.
Why
Really?
could they not have made a better script?
I texted a friend of mine who said, "Oh, you need to check it out. It's so good." After I watched that, the hour and a half that I couldn't get back,
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I texted her
You
back
saw
and
it.
said, "Unhinged, ungood."
But do you agree it was more because of the script, not as much for the acting?
Right.
I thought Russell Crowe actually did quite a nice job.
Pretty good.
Nice job.
I'm gonna have to see it then.
He's aging hard though.
Yes, he is.
Whoa,
That's
he's
why.
aging hard.
So he was not supposed to be that old in that picture.
Well, I'm not sure the age that he was supposed to be.
Okay.
See, that's just
Is this how he's looking for
is it his
real?
age
I
or
looked up
his
some
range?
pictures of him
Right.
Is
after
this
the
how he's
movie
looking
we
for
went
real, or
home.
is this the character?
He's not as big as they made him
Oh,
bigger.
right, that's what it is.
He's big, but not that big. But facially, that's him.
Oh my
Is it?
Lord.
That's him.
Now, some people just, and some people, well,
Because y'all looking young.
have a Diet Coke, bud. Maybe don't worry about it. Have a regular Coke. It's not going to matter.
Oh my God, I've had the greatest Saturday
Appreciate these guys.
afternoon.
has been
Appreciate
good.
Professionals Actor Studio.
Yes.
Yes.
You do. You have
I
a great
do.
time on Saturdays. I
Oh,
see
I
it
do.
now.
I
Okay.
do.
And I guess
I
he's
get up faithfully.
okay. I guess we have some more time because he just walked out.
Right.
Our producer.
Let's
But
see
we
it.
just praise God again. So you have anything else? You mean?
Okay, I want to
Microphones
ask
are you-
one question. What book, if it was one book that you want a new actor starting out, what would you suggest for them to
I want to
read?
tell you, he's being generous
Oh,
because
yeah, he's good.
I just looked. We're way over. We're almost an hour and a half in. It's almost 8 o'clock.
G-Way say when he likes it,
He's
keep
been letting
going.
it go.
What
So
a
I'm
gentleman
saying, I
he is.
told
You know what? I'm getting ready to sit here. I have to go, so I'm gonna leave you all together.
But
It's
just
5 to 8.
that one. Just that one. What book would you suggest for somebody just starting out to
I got a
read
half
that?
a dozen. You want to hit it or me?
Yeah,
Ivana
go
Chubbuck,
ahead.
Power of the Actor, is the one that I would push. It's Stanislavski, basically, but it's more up to date in its verbiage. She gives props to Stanislavski in the book itself. It's an easy read. It's real easy to digest and understand. Power of the Actor by Ivana Chubbuck is probably my pick until I write my own book. And yes,
All
it's
right.
coming out. My own book is coming out, and not right now,
Nice.
but it's coming out. So keep your ears locked to the.
All
And you
right.
already have a
I'm
topic
waiting on
and
that.
all that.
It's going to be a technique book, an acting technique book.
Oh,
I'm bringing out
good.
my own,
I'm
yeah.
waiting
But until
on
that
that.
happens, Ivana Chubbuck, I think, gets my vote.
I agree with that. I like a nice, good basic book. It's called No Acting Please by Eric Morris.
Yeah, good one.
You can get that in paperback. You can get it used. You don't have to spend a lot of money.
Okay.
I'd like an actor to read something by Lee Strasberg or one of his disciples to learn a little bit about method acting and how to approach method acting. I think someone should read at least something on Meisner, a Meisner technique. Read a little bit. He wrote a book called Meisner on Acting.
Great read.
That's a good read. Oops, sorry. Nice, simple, easy, great read. Here's the books to stay away from. Let me throw you the other side.
If it's all right for me,
we going.
Bye-bye, you all.
Mwah. Nice to
I'm
meet
gonna talk to you all so you can talk with Paige.
Sean?
I have to get out of here and go take care of my daughter. So that you know how that is. She'll
You
call me
good?
mama,
Okay.
mama, mama.
Well, give her our regards, would you please, and tell her we're sorry that you're late. It's our fault.
No.
Yes.
Well, we'll go ahead and
we're
wrap it up.
long-winded guests.
But I just want to say, I just really appreciate these guys and all the acting coaches at Professional Actors Studio.
Thank you
They
so
are
much.
awesome, and they make me feel like that's my second home. And I'm going to make these guys proud. Trust and believe that. I just had a scene a couple of weeks ago on WebMD. And so it should come out in about 3 or 4 months. So you will see that. So I did have a speaking role. I was a patient. So stay tuned for that. I booked it
Yes,
because
you
of these guys.
did.
Yes.
Check out the Thinking Out Loud Network at thinkingoutloudnetwork.com.